Hi, this is Ned Siegfried from Siegfried and Jensen. As proud sponsors of BeliefCast, we hope you are inspired by Todd's weekly podcasts, which contain so many courageous stories of recovery and personal growth. Remember, it's not what happened in the past that matters, it's what happens in the future. We invite you all to work hard and be optimistic about your future. Enjoy today's podcast.
Hey, McKenna, thank you for joining the show again.
Again, thank you so much for having me.
You've been on before,
Yes.
and your energy is amazing. We've been laughing so far up to this point.
Your
right?
energy is amazing. No, I'm kidding. Thank
But
you.
I'm grateful to have you here. And for everyone tuning in, thank you for watching and listening. I want you to know how much I appreciate and how grateful I am for your support and your belief in me. We are truly a success because of you and sharing these things. But I also have to give credit to my amazing guests like McKenna here, who's going to share some really powerful things today with us. And so we're all very fortunate to have her today. It's McKenna Brown. She's a mom. She's a mental health advocate. She's a public speaker. She's a 40 under 40 recipient in 2021. She's a Miss America 2014. She's the creator of Wonder Woman Journal and Self-Love and Confidence Coach. Mm-hmm. What I love about McKenna is she's not afraid to talk about her struggles. She's, like we said, she's a mental health advocate, but she will speak her mind. She will tell you the good, the bad, everything she's going through. And that's one of the best things I love about you, your vulnerability and also enjoying the journey. It seems like even though you've been through some hard times, you enjoy the journey as you go through this. You recently went away for a little bit for some treatment, which is a very vulnerable thing to do. And we'll talk a little bit about that. So thank you for being here.
Well, thank you so much.
McKenna Brown,
again.
the one and the only. Absolutely. So why don't we, just for our, people who may not know much about you, tell us a little bit about, what was it like growing up, and then what were some of the struggles as a child? I know you've shared them before, but I think there's some people that need to hear this.
Yeah, growing up, for me, I grew up in a home of a single mother of 4. She made a lot of sacrifices working 4 jobs. I'm a lot younger than my older siblings. I was alone a lot. I was with my grandparents a lot. And, I think that being surrounded by a lot of adults, I second guessed myself a lot. My self-love and confidence kind of started off low at an early age. I've always been high energy, very most positive outlook on things, positive outlook on things. But when you're so much younger than all your other siblings, 10, 9, 7 years, I mean, I don't blame them. I don't fault them. But the doubt and the connections and the emotional disconnect and the social disconnect caused me to have eager to feel belonging, eager to have connection. Yeah. And I believe that my self-love and self-doubt really struggled starting at a young age.
Right.
I believe that confidence is just part of who I am, but my insecurities really got the best of me at an early age. Yeah. And that was what it was like growing up. I don't want to say anything negative because I'm grateful for my childhood. I'm grateful for where I came from. Yeah. But I do think that I had to go through that in order to become who I was meant to be today.
Yeah, sure.
So a lot of that has rolled over into my adult life and mothering but you talked about me being vulnerable, and I find that finding joy in the journey is experiencing the beauty on the other side of pain. And even though it's a continuing process, I went through a mental health crisis 4 years ago, and then again, feeling like you're relapsing, but I feel like it's a constant progression. And sometimes we feel like we're going backwards or we're relapsing. Yeah. But my hope is to tell women and men and girls and boys that it's never relapsing. You're still progressing. It's just sometimes we have to be pulled back a little bit like an arrow in order to fly. Oh, yeah. And so with leaning into something hard and leaning into vulnerability and leaning into our trials, I've experienced beauty on the other side of that. So when another one comes along, even though it doesn't make it any easier, it makes me more, ambitious. I don't know what, let's take it on. Let's go. Yeah. Gotcha. Mentality, I think.
I love that. And I'm glad you said what you said, because I think some people will say, I feel like I had another mental health crisis or I had a breakdown, and you think all is lost of all the work that maybe was done before, but it's not. Like you're saying, it's another form of growth and progression, even though it doesn't feel like it.
Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. I definitely had those I'm a fraud, self-doubt, imposter syndrome thoughts when I started to relapse again, if you will, in that moment.
Yeah.
But I had this overwhelming feeling because they did a documentary on me literally right before I went into treatment.
Yeah.
And my hope with sharing in that documentary was we are going to continuously always be progressing. And right before I went into treatment, right before I started that like decline, if you will, like kind of going back down the mountain, before, like about to hike back up another one, kind of felt me going. I had set all these personal goals for myself. I wanted to start this podcast. I want a podcast. I want to do all these X, Y, and Z. And God, I felt this overwhelming feeling. I believe in a Heavenly Father and that Jesus is my Christ. And I felt this overwhelming hug saying, you want this, but you have to go through pain to experience the beauty. It's not just a handout. It's like you have to go through this to go get to where you want to be. So that's kind of why I felt an embrace to the treatment this year was, all right, I don't have to let go of those goals. I can still be what I want to be, but I have to go through another level, if you will, to achieve the. Yeah.
I love that.
Things.
Tell me what this statement stirs up in your mind and your heart. The greater the darkness, the greater the light.
I believe that it's in the darkness where we are forced to find our light. I believe that we all have a light inside of us. And sometimes we're put in darkness and it's, if you will, tough love from our God to say it's your duty, it's your obligation to find your light. I can't give you it. You have to find it. And then and you're going to think you're alone and you're going to think that I wasn't with you. But as soon as you lean into that heart and you find your light, instantly you will know where you're going and you will see that I was right next to you the entire time.
Oh, wow.
So I've always thought about my favorite scripture is let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and to glorify your Father, which is in heaven.
Right.
And to me, that is, in order to let our light shine, we have to, like a seed, be planted in the darkness so we can bloom. We're going to feel the rain. We're going to feel the darkness. But as soon as we start to bloom, we're going to see the light and become a flower we're meant to be and bloom into what we're meant to be.
Wow. Beautifully said. It reminds me of a James Allen quote, not really a quote, but something he said in one of his books, that he said the seed has to contend with the darkness before it becomes the flower.
Yes.
And that's what you just described.
And that was so eloquently, like profoundly put. Mine was a lot more drawn out, but I love that. I want to write that down. That's really powerful.
Yeah. And I think that really applies to all of us and everyone listening and everyone who's, hearing these things. It's like, if you're in that dark place, it's forcing you got to find that light, and it's there if you'll start walking in that direction per se.
Yeah.
Reaching out to people and what have you. You mentioned that you did a documentary.
Yes.
So let's talk about that for a minute.
Okay.
And then after you actually checked into a
treatment facility.
So let's talk about that. What happened there and how that all transpired.
Yeah. So there's a nonprofit organization that focuses on maternal mental health. It's called the Emily Effect. It's brings resources and awareness to maternal mental health. They reached out to me and asked if they could, they believe in bringing awareness to sharing women's stories. And I talk about postpartum rage, and then I talk about how anger was also a sign of depression for me that I didn't understand.
Yeah.
And in motherhood and in life, we're always quick to anger, but I believe that we always need to focus not only on how we feel, but how we're reacting.
Yeah.
And so even though there are moments of shame I've learned to work through on my anger, they wanted me to share that story in this documentary to help other women and mothers who are feeling like they're always angry moms to not feel like that they are alone and that there's hope and resources. And people would never think that I had anger issues.
Yeah, right.
But I did. And, I did
like
work
even when
through
you say that, I can't picture you in that mindset or whatever. But again, I know you're human and we have our issues, but it's hard to see that.
But the anger reaction was a trauma response for me, and I couldn't articulate how I was feeling. And so helping women understand that it is actually, there's no shame. It's just a sign. And it's your body talking to you in a way that needs to say, hey, this is a sign, here's X, Y, and Z. So Sturry, a company they teamed up with that does documentaries on people, came into my home and I agreed to it months before, and I had reached
Yeah.
out to them and said, you know, I've had another crisis.
Yeah.
Over the last couple months. I mean, they'd found cancer and I'd had surgery, and, you know, it was like the snowball effect of a lot of different things. And I said,
Yeah.
I just want to be completely transparent with you.
Yeah.
You guys are wanting to come Friday. I'm literally leaving Monday and checking into a mental treatment facility in Arizona.
Yeah.
I won't be offended if you want to put this off till I come back or later down the road.
Yeah.
And they said they felt really strongly to get me before I went.
Wow.
So we
Okay.
actually, I was able to do the documentary literally the week before I left to treatment. And in February, we're going to do a red carpet premiere to bring awareness and raise money for maternal mental health.
Yeah, I want to be there, by the way.
And I want you there.
I will be there. Yeah, that's
We'd
really,
love to
really
have
cool.
you there.
Well, and I love, again, you just being honest with them, saying, hey, here's where I'm at. I'm just going to be real with you, and here's what I'm dealing with. So talk about that, like getting to that place where you're like, you know what, I'm going to go get some help here. I'm going to, this is the maybe a weird way to say it, but checking out of your life, so to speak, to just concentrate on you for a minute. Talk about that experience.
That was rough. In that moment, I really relapsed rough in my mental health. And my husband and I, bless his soul, he's a very good man. He went to Google because we were just so I was just surviving to the next moment. We were just surviving. He couldn't live like this anymore. He didn't want me to live like this anymore. It was to a point where he felt like he needed to protect our children. Not that I was physically abusing them, but when they're walking on eggshells, it does create a trauma-filled environment for my children, and it's not healthy. And he Googled treatment. He up came Sierra Tucson in Arizona.
Yeah.
And it was almost like a mini intervention. I didn't even know that was an option. I was going to my therapy appointments every week. I was doing X, Y, and Z, really trying, but feeling like I was drowning again. Yeah. And he came to me after already talking to help, like nanny help, family help, and kind of orchestrated this whole plan. So there wasn't anything I could say. What about the kids? Yeah. You know, what about you? What about our lives? And he had every variable covered. Wow. And he came to me with love and just expressing how much he loved me and how he would do anything for me. Wow. And that there was this place that he thought would be very helpful for me. Yeah. And people ask me, what was it like? And I know people have different emotions with intervention. I knew I had a problem. Right. I needed help and was trying to, so it was a sense of relief. I didn't even know that was a resource. Now, I pride myself on being a woman, finding resources for women and, you know, situations. And it was like, I needed to experience this as I came out going, now I get to provide another resource for women to say that this is actually an option for you. And 30 days might sound like a really long time, which it is. It's a month. And guess what? It was the month of May. Us moms call it Maycember. It is like after school. And for some reason, schools all get together and they're like, we've got a crap ton of programs, after school stuff, parties, celebrations. And I thought, how can I leave for the month of May? Right. But he said, I believe, McKenna, that we believe we lived before we came to earth. And we've had this we're having this mortal existence, and we believe in life after death. And if you are gone for a 30-day time frame, so we can have a lifetime, an eternity of a healthy mom with more resources, then let's go. Let's do it. And it took me down a road. The goals I had set for myself, God was telling me those were seeds I was planting because you were meant to go on this journey. Yeah. And now I'm back in school, and now I'm going to become a licensed certified social worker. So then I can become a therapist, give therapy to women in a very qualified, I want to be qualified. Yeah. Not that you're not qualified to share your story, just in a sense of really mental health crisis situations.
Absolutely. No. And I say this a ton, and it's one of the things I try to live by. And it's changed my perspective on life, that life happens for us. Yes. Right. And everything that you've been through, the good, the bad, everything led to us talking today even. And, you know, you're going back to school to get your license and all that stuff and all the help you're doing for people. But as we connect the dots in your life, looking backwards, it all led to this moment.
And I think that also helps you take on the next mountain.
Yeah.
Right. And it helps you as soon as you tackle that one mountain. I don't want people to feel hopeless when I say, I went through this, but I still went to treatment, or I'm doing this, because once you overcome a mountain, you build confidence and strength and love for yourself to take on the next one.
Yeah.
And it's never a linear, like this progressive way, right? It's backwards and sideways. And that's this, picture of a squiggly line.
Yeah.
But in order to let our light shine for men and to honor our God, you have to go through hardship, just like he sent his son. Not to get so spiritual, but this whole journey this year has really connected me on such a whole different level with Christ and a higher power, that he had to send his son, who sacrificed through, in Gethsemane, and who died on the cross and experienced that heartache, because in order to achieve the greatness of the atonement, he had to go through this hardship, which was such a great example for all of us. In that.
Yeah. It might have been your first post in 30 days. I don't know for sure, but I saw a post when I think you were getting out of treatment, and it shows you hugging your kids. Yeah. And it chokes me up to see your face and theirs, and how happy they were. And then the words you wrote in that post was so beautifully said and so vulnerable. Again, like I said, talk about that moment, seeing them run up to you after 30 days, which does seem like an eternity away from your children, but to see them and smiling and hugging and loving you.
It's a lot of emotions at once. It's joy, because you've missed them so much.
Yeah.
I would be lying if I said I didn't feel shame and embarrassment. I left you for 30 days. Does this cause you trauma? You have those feelings, and I know that it didn't. I know that it hasn't, because we're stronger than ever. But that moment, seeing my kids, and I talk about this moment, and I talked about it in my documentary with Sturry. The day I came home from the behavior hospital, I had leftover makeup on my face, and I felt like a complete train wreck. And my kids, regardless, came up and loved me as I was in that moment. And the love that they showed me in that moment, that I don't need to be, the connection that I have, no matter where I am in my life, they love me for who I am, and I love them. And I believe it was healthy for us to miss each other, and it was healthy for them to, it was healthy all around. But in that moment of us seeing each other, was a lot of good, but also a lot of,
can understand that.
Like, okay, I didn't have my phone for a month. I was forgetting my phone places, because they take everything. They take your phone, and readjusting to life itself. But
you were probably like, I don't want it back.
I didn't.
Please keep it.
I would just leave it at the house. I'm like, I'm good. I'm good.
Right.
Just leave it at home. But I'm so grateful for their love, unconditional love, that they showed me through that. So
it was such a beautiful thing to see. And
thank you.
Yeah, I love that you're sharing that. So you've got a kind of a business. You're a speaker. You've got these journals. Let's talk about that for a second, for those that may not know. But you're a seasoned speaker. You love talking to people.
I do.
You share. So talk a little bit about that.
I was just talking about this yesterday, because someone's talked about their 10-year plan. And I said, I'm not for plans. I'm for goals. God has the plan. I don't have the plan. If I were to tell my past self what I was doing today, I'd be like, what?
Whatever.
No. I took the next right step, and I did the journals, because I wanted something tangible with a call to action for women to celebrate themselves.
Right.
And those journals took me to the Wonder Girl journal, because I was calling my girls Wonder Girls, and they were calling me Wonder Woman. And then it was this prompted journal that went through, but then the prompted journal, I thought, I need to create a workbook for the girls to walk them through the journal. Right. And then once I created that, I was like, it'll be an online program, whatever. No, it was instant. Weekly, I was speaking across the state to youth groups, dance groups, cheerleading groups, like studios. And it took me that direction. And I never thought that I would be speaking weekly for women and children and girls. And then it took me to the and then it really evolved into 7 steps on how to create and nurture self-love and confidence, which is turning into the book I wanted to write. And I'm still writing, but I'm on God's time frame. So now he called me into school. So now I'm in school.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like the whole journey of speaking and connecting with women kind of fell into place because I believe I just took the next right step.
Right.
And so in the year 2021, I spoke probably, I think it was like over 25 times. I was on 12 podcasts that year, none of which I solicited myself saying, hey, I'd love to be on. It was all fell into place.
Yeah.
Because I believe when you take that next right step, God takes you on the plan that you're meant to be on.
Yeah.
And so now it still is happening. Like even out of treatment, being like, oh, you guys don't think I'm a fraud? Okay, great. Like, okay.
Not at
now
all.
All of a sudden, everything else is beautiful. Things are lining up for me. And it's been a really beautiful journey.
Yeah. 30 days of sacrifice to have the eternity of gifts and blessings and trials again, like you were talking about. And that is beautiful. And it's fun to see that these things are starting to unfold in your life, you know?
Yeah.
How has, now that you've been back for a while, how has your family adjusted? How's your husband adjusted and your kids even just through this process?
I feel so blessed. My oldest daughter, because she's older, she's 12 now, but you know, through these years, she got hit the worst with my mental health. So I've carried a lot of guilt and shame with that. We are closer than she wants me to hug her and snuggle her and kiss her. And we've connected on this level. Since I struggled with maternal mental health, that was the beginning. We didn't really connect on like as much as you would. I don't know, there was a disconnect a little bit, even though we loved each other.
Oh yeah.
Our whole house feels more peaceful. Every morning we do gratitudes and affirmations. You know, I have a weekly quote. I have weekly affirmations. We have gratitudes with a theme every day. And there are days where I'm running behind and I'm not perfect, but my kids will run it because it's so, and the way we communicate is different. So, you know, using my cognitive behavioral therapy skill sets or my DBT with my husband and, you know, our education, how we communicate with our children. We talk about our core feelings. How are you feeling? Okay, we want to validate them. All right. Wow. Letting my kids know and feel that emotion is okay. You can feel angry. You can feel sad. You can cry. You can kick and scream because your emotion, we talk about, we just can't shoot that emotion towards your sibling or your mom. We can't treat each other badly, but we want to allow you a safe space to feel. And I believe that that's gained a lot of trust and connection as a whole, as a family. So with my husband and the way we communicate through our confrontation, because we're not perfect.
Sure.
We have, you know, marital issues just like the next person, but how we constructively get out of it as a family, just our overall feeling at our house. I had a dream that we had, a force field around in our house. So there was this beam in the middle of our house. And I was told the more love we get it, the more of a protection filter we have over our house.
Oh, gotcha.
And the more love we feed this, our home, our family, each other, we serve each other, the more this, you know, force field goes over our house. And then in part of that dream, my kids would leave the force field, but there was a force field around them because no matter what, they know they're loved, they know they're safe, and our home is their safe. They're protected from the world because of the love we feel and show each other inside our home. Wow. So I believe that our home has now turned into, instead of this quarreling, kind of walking on eggshells environment, it's now evolved into, and is continuing to evolve because we're not perfect, there's constant progression, but this safe place where my kids will talk to me and open up to me, and we love each other and we serve each other, and the love is our force field around our house. So I don't know if that makes sense visually or verbally for you, or hopefully it will to our listeners as well. But the more love, I believe the basis of everything in this world, I keep talking about so many like scriptures, but like the first and great commandment is love thy God, but the second is like unto it, love your neighbor, you know, like thyself. So they only talk about 2 commandments, but we forget about thyself. Teaching my daughters to love themselves. Loving each other. And
you know, I appreciate you sharing that. You know, I heard a great definition of love is love equals sacrifice. So obviously when we love someone, we'll sacrifice for them, you know, time, effort, energy, whatever we can, money if we have to. And it's no different with ourselves. If we love ourselves, we will sacrifice for us. You went to treatment for 30 days. That's a huge sacrifice. But on some level, you're telling yourself you love you enough to get better, right? And at the same time, you're also still sacrificing in the love it brings to your family. So just that correlation is pretty powerful.
Yeah. And I think as a society, when we do self-care, people think it's selfish. I believe it's self-full, because you can't properly love your kids. You can't properly love your neighbor or even God or whatever spiritual higher being you believe or higher power if you don't truly love yourself. And in order to love yourself, you have to take care of your mind. You have to take care of your body, and you have to take care of your spirit.
Yeah.
And so that's been my goal moving forward, is what am I doing every day that I'm doing to take care of my mind?
Yeah.
How am I taking care of my spirit? And how am I taking care of my body, my mind, body, spirit? Yeah. Because when all of those are in sync, you're unstoppable.
Yeah. I love it. So what gets you out of bed in the morning? Like, seriously, like what ignites you to do all these great things that you're doing and be so vulnerable in front of thousands and thousands and thousands of people, also with your own close-knit family and everything else? But what gets you out of bed in the morning? What ignites that?
I'm hungry to continue to progress, to reach my full potential. I get little tastes of that, my potential.
Right.
And light on the other, beauty on the other side of pain and all of that. And I see the work that goes into it. And I believe the greatest form of self-love is self-discipline as well. And so showing that I'm disciplined enough, and loving yourself is a very satisfying feeling, that moment where you can look in the mirror and say, wow, I genuinely have love for you.
Yeah.
It's a really powerful feeling. And so when you get a little taste of your purpose and your potential, and you get a little taste of self-love, it gets me eager and hungry to continue to do that. And so self-discipline, setting that alarm and getting up at a certain time and doing something for my body, doing something for my mind, and being productive and proactive isn't easy, but it gets me out of bed every morning because I know it makes me feel good.
Yeah.
Because I know if I stay in bed too long, I don't feel good.
I know, I'm the same way.
And I like to feel productive, and I like to feel like I'm progressing, and I'm not progressing if I don't let myself get out of bed.
Gotcha.
But there's no shame if you get stuck in bed.
Yeah.
I believe that I call them Wonder Woman moments.
Yeah.
So every woman's a Wonder Woman. Even if you can't get out of bed, I want women, and I call women and men to just put their hands on their heart and take a deep breath and go, wow, I'm breathing. I'm alive, and my life deserves to be celebrated. So in this moment, I can't get out of bed, but from here on out, I'm going to celebrate each step I take. And right now the step is I'm breathing. Okay. You put your feet on the ground. I'm going to celebrate that. I walked into the shower. Okay. And celebrate those little moments, because that's also crucial. Those little moments they're missed in those celebratory moments, but they are very powerful if we recognize them.
Love that. Very well said. If there's someone right now who's in that mental health crisis, just as you were a little while ago, and they're listening to you right now, what would you tell them?
I would tell them, 1, you're not broken. Your brain is not broken. Your brain and your body are reacting because of what you have been through. And that was the biggest thing I took from treatment, was I came in thinking there was something wrong. I was broken. I was crazy. I was, not worthy of life or love. Yeah. And learning that, hey, what I'm feeling is common. Yeah. It doesn't have to be your normal. There's hope. You're not alone. In that darkness, search for that light. And as soon as you find that light, you will realize the support around you. No, reach out. Asking for help is not weakness. Right. It is strength. Yeah. Saying, I need help. Help will come. And there's nothing that you have been given, any trial, any heartache, that you can't get through. God wouldn't give you anything if he didn't know you could get through it. You are capable, and you are equipped to get through this.
Yeah.
Don't give up, because I promise you there is beauty on the other side of that. And that beauty is your purpose and your connection and your happiness. But you can't achieve there can't be virtue without vice. And there's no way around it.
Right.
Lean into it. And I promise you, if you trust, let go, let God, trust the process, find your resources, you will get out of it beautifully.
Yeah. Very well said. Great advice. Thank you for sharing that. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
I just want to say I admire you. I admire your vulnerability. I just admire the way you carry yourself. You're so vulnerable, not just with me here, but just what I see, you're not afraid to post when you're having a bad day and just being real with everyone. So I just want you to know that inspires me to be more like that.
Thank you.
I want you to know that. So
the feeling's mutual.
Thank you. Yeah. You've been on the show before, like I mentioned, a few times. And the last one was episode 307, which we just barely posted. And it's going well. A lot of people are downloading it. And a lot of people are commenting on it. And so if you want to listen to more of McKenna's story, you can go check out that episode. And if you also wanted to get to know more about what she does, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but your website is McKennaRoseBrown.com. Is that correct?
Yep.
And then your Instagram account is McKenna Rose Brown.
Yep.
Okay, just want to make sure I got those right.
TikTok, everything, just McKenna Brown.
That's all of it. She's on every platform out there, but please reach out to her. Check out everything that she's doing. If you have questions, if you have a son or a daughter who are struggling with their mental health, she's a great person to reach out to and to get some advice and maybe some direction. But thank you so much for being on the show again.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I think the world of you. I hope you know
feeling
that.
is mutual. It's always an honor to connect with you.
Yeah, thank you, McKenna.
Thank you, Todd.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, everyone. I love you guys. Thanks for believing in me. And until next time.